Hey guys, it's Billy Lakes, the Lotus Den. I'm just going to do a little bit of a sort of an overview and talk about my favorite deck personally on the newly released Duels of the Planeswalkers 2012. It's out on the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and you can get it through Steam on PC. I was really excited. I didn't really hear much about this game. I just got on one day and saw it. The first one I thought was really good. It was great to have Magic on a console like that, and it actually be in card form and not some kind of a phony knockoff version. However, it had limitations. You couldn't customize your deck at all. It just was really, I don't know. It was fun while it lasted, but it wasn't a true representation of the game. Now, 2012 is different. They've added new cards, of course. The campaign's much better, in my opinion. The modes, it's just a much better game overall. Whereas the original Duels of the Planeswalkers, I would have probably given a maybe 6 or a 7 out of 10. I'll easily give this one an 8 out of 10. You can customize your decks in this one, as with the deck manager, but it's a little different than you would expect. You basically you unlock cards as in the original one, but in this one you can take cards out and put new cards in. And so you can keep your deck at 60. You don't ever want to play with more than a 60 card deck. All seasoned, Magic players know this. And for those that don't know it, you don't ever want to play with more than a 60 card deck, because if you think about it, the more cards you have in your deck, the less chance you're going to draw the good ones that you need. Just do a quick run through. Help and options, nothing big there. Leaderboards, it just shows leaderboards really for single player, 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, two-headed giant, just all the different game types. I haven't really delved much into online. Achievements, there's not very many of them. I've got all the campaign ones. There's also achievements for challenges. I think you just have to solve a challenge for that one. I'm not even delved into them really. Arch Enemy is in this game, which is a very fun game type. I haven't tried yet either. Arch Enemy Online, solve 15 challenges, complete the Arch Enemy campaign. This is just for beating different Planeswalkers in the campaign mode. Now the deck manager. These are basically the decks that you can get. I guess I'll talk a little bit about them briefly, which I think are I'm not going to get too in depth with this, but I'll talk a little bit about which decks I think are the best and which ones leave a lot to be desired. You start out with the options to play Apex Predators, which is a mono green deck, and Wielding Steel, which is a mono white deck. I really like Wielding Steel. It's one of my favorite decks in the game. As you can see, I have 9 out of 16 cards unlocked, so I didn't finish the entire campaign with it. But I used it until I got my deck of choice, which I will reveal in a little bit. But you have the two of those. You have Realm of Illusion, which is a mono blue deck. It's actually fairly decent. It has a lot of synergy between its cards. It has illusions that can pump each other. And I haven't unlocked any cards with it because I haven't played it, but I've seen people online using it, and they unlock basically illusion lords that pump everything. And they just build off of each other, and it has your traditional blue trickery and counter spells and things, so it can be quite bothersome. Strength of Stone, mono red deck. This is one of the 2 mono red decks in the game. It's not my favorite. It's the weaker of the 2 in my opinion. There's another green deck, but this has black splashed in, Guardians of the Wood. Not a bad deck. It's not one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites though, this blue-green Ancient Depths deck. Basically it reminds me of Turboland, which is a deck I used to play in Standard back a while ago. Has a lot of the same cards, same colors, and basically what you do with this deck at least is that you ramp like crazy. You get land out really fast, and you just try to survive until you can play your big creatures, and you really can win. You have Eldrazi spells, which are just monstrosities, and once you play those, I mean, unless your opponent can kill you, the game's essentially over. So it's one of my favorite decks. I haven't really delved too much into this black-red deck, Dragon's Roar, but I'm looking into it because that used to be one of my favorite 2 colors to play together. Bloodhunger is a vampires deck, which I love because I used to play vampires. I'm looking to play with that some more too. That deck gave me a lot of trouble, probably the most trouble I had. This is the only 3-color deck in the game. It's white, blue, and black. and it's an artifact deck. I was really excited about it. I tried to play it first, but it just, a lot of the other decks are too quick for it, and it's just, I don't know, it doesn't have the right cards. Even when you unlock everything, it just doesn't flow properly, and I just didn't really feel it. I'm going to try to give it some more playtime later and let you guys know how that goes, but as of now, I don't really recommend it, especially if you're new to the game. These 3-color decks can be a little hard to pilot. Here's my favorite deck, Unquenchable Fire. I'll come back to it. Actually, that's the last deck, so go ahead and go into it, and I'll show you my card choices for my build. I love aggro decks, which are decks that there's not really, you know, in terms of controlling your opponent, none of that's involved. I'm going to go ahead and reset the deck here, so I'll show you guys what I put in. It's just kill your opponent as quick as possible, is what Mono Red essentially does. And that's why I love it. As you can see, I unlocked all the cards for it. I'm going to go ahead and put in the cards I recommend, and then we'll take some cards out. Banefire, of course, has to go in. It's a great card. Enough said. Just burn your opponent out with it. These Dragon's Claws, I would put them in if you're playing another red deck, but of course you're not going to know that unless you're, you know, playing one of your buddies and you know beforehand what he's going to play. But it's a really good card if you're playing another mono red deck. These guys, I actually, I believe I put them in. We'll go ahead and do it. I can't remember my build exactly. Incinerate, you got to put these in. Great classic card. You can't beat Incinerate. I don't need to explain myself there. Punishing Fire, I run more of a burn type build, mostly because when you're playing, you know, Ancient Depths and other decks like that, you just want to burn them out really quick, and sometimes your creatures can't get through. So I run them just for that reason, and on the off chance they do gain life, as you see at the bottom there, it can be a useful card, so I run both of those. Chandra's Phoenix, you have to play that. That's just a great red card. I don't really like this card. It just, I don't know. It can be useful for a red deck, I guess, but I've not really had much success with it and haven't really given it much play. This card can be very, very good because you can get an extra attack phase. I can't remember if I ran it in my main build or not, though. We'll come back through and see, because it can be we'll go ahead and throw it in for now. It can be just a great card to get that extra damage in. Flame Blast Dragon, you have to play that. It's one of your few good creatures, as well as Inferno Titan. And then, of course, you got to play Flame Wave. It can just wipe the board if you're playing, you know, like the blue illusion deck, or, you know, a deck with small creatures. If they pump on each other, this can really just devastate them. And so, as you see, we're up to 78 cards. So we're going to take out these Cinder Walls. I don't care for them very much. We'll take those guys out. I think I'm going to remove Pyroclasm. It's a good card, but it's very situational. So we'll go ahead and take that out. I'm going to take out 2 of the Fiery Hellhounds because they're okay, but they're not great, and we need to cut some cards. So 2 of those go out. Sizzle, I might remove. I believe I might have, but we'll see. I love this card. This used to be one of my favorite cards. I did remove 1 Fire Elemental, I believe, just a basic card. And I always cut the Lava Axes because they are not that great. And I also cut the 2 Ember Shots, and that should get us down to 61 cards, I believe. And then, yes, I cut the other Fire Elemental. And that is my my build, essentially. Deck stats are right there. A lot more spells than creatures, obviously. That's how we want it. Go ahead and save our deck. And I'm running out of time here, so your campaign mode, I'm in the Revenge camp. That's the basic original campaign right there that I played through. This is the Revenge campaign where things are tougher, arch enemy. Multiplayer, you have create a match, quick match, custom match. Do a video later of me playing with Unquenchable Fire. Custom games for you to play with your friends, some extras, new content I'm sure will be coming out. But anyways, as I was saying, it's a great game. It's refreshing to see that the Wizards listened to the players and made the deck somewhat customizable. I give it a solid 8 out of 10, and put up a video a little bit later of me doing some gameplay. So, thanks for watching, guys.